Hey guys, welcome back to another election prediction video. Today is September 3rd, 2016, and there are a total of 65 days left in the general election until Election Day, which is November 8th, 2016. Our next president will be sworn in 2017, and that's why I'm making these videos to predict who our next president would be. My last election prediction video, I showed this map, and that election prediction video was titled Battleground States. I was going through the battleground states and explaining the primary election vote total and the poll numbers. And since then, we've had major shakeups in the general election, and most of that is due to the fact that Donald Trump has shrunk his has shrunk Hillary Clinton's lead by a lot. I mean, the new polls coming out show Donald Trump 1, 2, 3 points in the lead nationally. So I think that there's some kind of general election shakeup going on there, partly because he is going on script, and that has a lot to do with his new campaign team and all of that. But I'm going to tell you something right now. I watched his immigration speech in Arizona, and parts of it were good, but he made himself look really good going to Mexico and this diplomacy measures that he took place in doing, meeting the Mexican president. It made himself look good. It made himself look like he'd be a good diplomatic president. However, he came back to the United States and lied about his meeting with the Mexican president. Now, polling numbers among independents in the state of Arizona that could swing the state towards Hillary Clinton show that there wasn't really much that immigration speech moved a lot, so it really wasn't much of an impact. Of course, it thrilled Trump supporters, but Hillary Clinton supporters and independents, Gary Johnson supporters, Jill Stein supporters, weren't ecstatic about it like Trump supporters were. But it was a good speech, and I have to give him credit for that, except for the part where he said in Mexico that they didn't discuss the payment of the wall, but came back to the United States and claimed that Mexico was paying for the wall. I don't think that is good diplomacy measures at all. So I think he needs to pay attention to what he's saying in his big rally speeches, stuff like that. That's definitely important, but I also think that he needs to continue the type of attitude that he's giving the people of Arizona. He's definitely gaining his ground. In the way that he speaks, in the way that he talks to the crowd and talks to the United States. So, although I'll never support Donald Trump, once again, I have to give him credit for that speech. Some of it was very good, especially the part that it was a scripted speech. So, when Trump tends to go unscripted in speeches, his poll numbers tend to drop a lot. Now, I'm still happy with this map that I have right now, but if the election were held today, in my personal opinion, Hillary Clinton would probably win the state of Ohio if the election were held right now, today, 2:45 p.m. when I'm recording this video. If it were held right now, Hillary Clinton would probably win the state of Ohio. Now, Hillary Clinton's side in the media, 3 pages now, I believe, of new emails came out that some could go hand in hand with the Benghazi scandal, which was back when she was Secretary of State under Barack Obama. So it's going to be interesting to see what the FBI has to say about those emails. Either way, Trump had a better weeks leading after the convention that he did directly after the convention. He's doing better. I have to give him credit for that, but he has cut Hillary's lead into shreds, guys, into shreds. And with a lead that with a lead that he has, it could definitely be that he is going to be looking at trying to take other states. Like, with the lead he has, he could possibly win the state of New Hampshire. You can see him trying to make a play. Of course, he'll probably win Georgia with the lead he has, but you can see him trying to make it a play at maybe Michigan. Maybe even going after Virginia at the most part. If that were to happen, which is highly unlikely, but if he were to win the state of Michigan, New Hampshire, and Virginia with the battleground states of Nevada, Arizona, Iowa, all those battleground states, it would leave them at a tie election. A tie election. So we all know what happens during a tie, and that is that what is it? Senate or House of Representatives, or one of those decides and votes on the president of the United States. Now, there are a lot of people in the Senate, House of Representatives, and Supreme Court and all that don't like Donald Trump. Okay? So with that being said, say it were a tie election, and the Senate is, I think that's who votes on it, I'm not sure, but is dominated by Republicans that don't like Trump. Let's say that those Republicans that don't like Trump, there's a minimal, the 15% of the Congress that goes for, or whatever it is, that goes for Donald Trump, but the rest of it goes for Gary Johnson, and if it's dominated by Republicans and the Democrats vote for Hillary Clinton, well, only a small amount, or a small portion goes for Donald Trump, then we could potentially have a President Johnson by next year. I'm definitely not going to say that third party cannot win this election, because there are ways that they could win even without the electoral map, and one of them is what I just said, that we somehow have a tie between Clinton and Trump, and whoever votes on it, I think it's the Senate, whoever votes on it could not like Trump, and Gary Johnson gets majority of the votes. He becomes the president of the United States. But typically it's a two-way battle, so we're probably not going to be seeing a tie this election. It could get as close as 270, what is it? It could get even as close as 275 to 263, or it could get as close as, let's see, I don't know, could get as close as 273 to 265, but I don't think we'll be seeing a tie election. And that means I think Hillary Clinton can win the Rust Belt very well. Virginia, home of Tim Kaine, which is also going to be where a vice presidential debate will be held. There's also going to be a vice presidential debate in Missouri, so if she turns out well there and there's enough swing voters there that are paying attention to the debates, Hillary Clinton could win Missouri. I'm not going to go that far because really she probably won't win the state of Missouri, and we're kind of elaborating what would happen in terms of a debate. But Trump has threatened to not have any of the debates, and if that were to happen, he probably wouldn't be the president of the United States, to be completely honest with you. So, definitely something to watch. But even without these key battleground states, we could give Ohio to Hillary Clinton, or Donald Trump, North Carolina, Nevada, Iowa, she still wins 302 to 236. Now, arguably, some would say, well, Michigan is going Republican and Florida is going Republican, which would put Donald Trump over the top. But 9 times out of 10, that state will go blue, that state will go blue, to recover for the states that went red. So even if Ohio in some scenario was lost by Donald Trump, there'd still be other battleground states to recover. You could see maybe North Carolina recovering Clinton in this election. But to wipe this off the map, to be completely honest with you guys, people say that Hillary Clinton is weak, and this is coming from one of her supporters, but I'm not trying to elaborate bias against Hillary or for Hillary Clinton. I'm not trying to be biased, but to be completely honest with you guys, if she pulls out the guns at the end of this election, she could win by a landslide blowout. Same for Trump. They both have the same tendencies. They could both win by a landslide, and we have no idea what goes on in their meetings, so how are we to know what they have planned? But Hillary Clinton has so many more steps to winning by a landslide than Donald Trump does. And that includes winning the key battleground states, which aren't hard for her. Could win there. There, of course, Illinois. And winning all the way up the coast here. And there was even an article by a Republican bias thing that says Hillary Clinton should prep for a landslide. So this is from a Republican article that supports Donald Trump. So this is not really that biased. You could see, they said you could see her winning all the way up the East Coast, all the way up the West Coast, and some states in between. That includes there. That includes, to get even radical, even more radical than that, that includes Indiana, for gosh sakes. But some Republican biased articles have had Hillary Clinton articles that say she should be prepping for a landslide. These are new articles. To be completely honest with you, those of you Republicans saying that the polls are rigged, you are trying to make us Hillary Clinton supporters believe that the polls are rigged constantly. We shouldn't trust the polls. We shouldn't trust the poll averages. Well then, guess what? If you don't want us to trust it, then what is your argument? And this is serious. I want you to comment this below. If the polls are so rigged, then what is your argument about Donald Trump winning by 3 points right now? That's just my question to you. Let me re-elaborate that question for you. Anybody who supports Donald Trump, please comment this in the comments below. Correct. If I'm correct, you guys said that Donald Trump is not winning in the polls because the polls are rigged for Hillary Clinton. But the most recent poll from the LA Times and a poll from Rasmussen and IPP, said that Donald Trump was winning by 1, 2, even 3 points in the polls. How is it that the polls are rigged in favor of Clinton, but when Trump turns around and has a lead, they're not rigged in favor of Trump? If that makes sense at all. If the polls are rigged in favor of Clinton, if Donald Trump turns around and has a lead, then they have to be kind of rigged for Donald Trump too. I mean, it's kind of confusing to me how Hillary Clinton rigs the polls, but Donald Trump is in the lead. So if the Trump supporter could comment that below in the comments, that'd be great. Let's get back to what this article said that I was reading. Of course, Donald Trump's going to win all these Republican states, which this isn't going to put him at that much. Democrats, they have such a wide stride headed into an election. They have these states, California, 55 electoral votes. Washington, 12. Illinois, 20. New York, 29. Think about it. They have such a wide stride headed into the election so far that just a couple of states of Democrat could have them safe for the election. But the Republicans come in with itty-bitty states like Idaho, or 4 electoral votes, or North Dakota with 3 electoral votes. And to be completely honest with you, the only states the only safe Republican states that have over 10 electoral votes are Indiana, Tennessee, and Texas. So, and the states that are safe Democrat that are over 10 electoral votes are California, Washington, Illinois, Michigan, Pennsylvania, New York, Virginia, North Carolina. You see, I mean, look at it. We have such a wide stride going into it. So that's just what I have for this election prediction video. Thanks for watching, and join me again next time.